Welcome back, everybody. How was your week? How have things been going? Are you feeling good? Go ahead and put it in the comments so I can have something to respond to. Um, I'm going to start off and tell you, I love the questions that you guys are sending me directly, no matter where you happen to see this video at. But make sure that you're putting them out there because someone else might have the same question as you. So then if I can, respond publicly, a lot more people could be helped. Because I am really liking the responses. And we're moving forward. So let's keep doing that. So one thing that I hope that you're able to see as we are in so far is that you can actually do this, and it can actually be something that is long-standing. And not something that's just here one moment, gone until the next season. Okay, now it's here one moment, gone again. But something that can actually be sustained year round. Why? Well, mostly because the people need the Lord year round. I mean, if we can put it in such simple and layman terms as that, I don't even know if that's offensive to say layman's terms, but that's how I like my terms. I like it so that I can understand it. Ain't nobody trying to be nobody else, and it's just getting right to the point. So I hope you're noticing that, that is a whole lot simpler than I thought. And we can actually do things throughout the year because why? We have the Bible right there. Those are all the stories that we need to start out with. And then you can tweak those stories into maybe a little more closer to how your community operates, the things you've seen, and the things that would help to get the ball rolling and the heart start to pumping and oh my goodness, I recognize that. Oh, I can relate to that. Well, what is their outcome going to be? Because I saw what mine, is still in the progress of being or process of being. And then you can kind of move forward there. So today we are going to chapter 3, and we're talking about choosing leadership. And it's not always about choosing those that seem to come already most qualified. And on the other side of that, it's not about rejecting those that seem to not have any experience. Because with this, just as you are learning now, someone else can also learn the material and how to do things. There's a very big array of opportunities that someone who took or can take initiative can get involved in to understand the parts that they want to understand. And this is a great way to make someone else who wants to do something be able to realistically have that opportunity. As we talked about in the previous chapters, we don't want to be excluding people for the wrong reasons, or if at all. When it comes to something like this, outsiders, people who haven't done it before, can see it as fun. Oh, this is fun. And maybe they're not of school-aged children. Like maybe they are adults and like, wow, I remember when I was in blah, 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 and we had a whole team of people and it was so great. They could be reminiscing on that in their mind and want that experience again. There's a lot of different reasons why people do something. And if that is one of them, because they want the fellowship, because they want that team atmosphere, because they're longing to get to know someone again, but it's kind of hard out here to make friends that would be true and genuine. We don't want them to feel bad. We don't want anyone to be turned away and then they're like, well, dang, you know. And then or they feel like or think that that's their only shot at being intertwined with a group of people again, in order to maybe that makes them feel good, you know? Maybe that gives them something more to live for. Maybe they've been alone so long that they need that, and we don't want to turn them away. So keep in mind that all of the things that I am showing, teaching you, giving you a perspective on, you can do the same thing as a good leader. Because I would take someone who has passion and want to, and maybe zero experience, over someone who has done this 50,000 million times, but their attitude is bad, or they think they know everything, or they have it worked out because they've done it like this before. Maybe that is true. But when you're coming into a team, it can't just be I. Because there's going to be a lot more people with different perspectives. And yes, it's okay to give your opinion, but if it's not selected, you still have to be okay with that. Someone who's coming in new, and I'm talking to you as leaders, because you are seeking this information to be a leader of the drama ministry, or to even start and be the founder of your, I was going to say chapters, but your church's drama ministry. So speaking to you as a leader, we want to make sure that we are inclusive. And just as I am teaching you this material, you can teach someone else or show them the path to take to learn it. Don't be so quick at, well, we're going to get this done next week. So no, you can't be a part of the team because you don't know how to do it, da, 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 da. This is a journey. This is a journey. Keep that in mind. We are all moving forward together. And guess what? If it takes us a little while longer for everyone to get their parts down correctly, for everyone to understand their department correctly, no matter if they're in the administration, and how to register people, what we're doing with the funds, how to properly put that into wherever you're putting that, or if we're talking about the lighting, and we need somebody to turn it on at this point and turn it off, and then slowly make it rise during this point, and then do an abrupt stop. No matter if we're like, hey, we got to train up the door people, the ushers, the blah, blah, blah for this particular type of event. Or even the script writers. There's a way to learn everything. And again, I have to go back to YouTube. It really is a university of sorts. And I have learned to do a lot of things from there. So don't ever, let this be the point where we're not just counting people out because of topical reasons. You understand? Because we are in the world, but we are not of the world, right? So we have to keep why are we doing this in mind and not let it turn into such a business that now we are excluding, we are making people feel bad, we are being hurtful and rejecting, and we are trying to keep it as quote unquote our own when we don't even have to do that. And it could still be successful. So make sure that you're checking your egos as leaders at the door. Remember how Jesus did things. And he didn't even come in like, I know who I am, and therefore I am going to condemn you, and I'm going to tell you what you're not. Because I need to shine. No, that shine is instilled on the inside. We don't have to do those things. We don't have to be like that. We can actually be in a group, go somewhere, and because we're so unified, the person in the front is like, well, are you the leader, or who's the And nobody on the outside will be able to know until we say, oh, yes, I can handle that for you. Because nobody is seeking to be better than someone else. We want to get really good at what we are in charge of. This is not a place for egos. We shouldn't have one. What we should have is a vision and a passion to see that vision come to life, and a passion to have people that want to be there to help us, and then give back to them by instilling them with more understanding so that they can come professionals and they can come masters of the craft in that respect to which they are over. And then we still be humble. But we know our stuff, so we have studied to show ourselves approved. Should be the range of our ego. And not because I'm trying to seek power for me or to get recognition for me. No, the Lord said, if my name be lifted up. Okay? So, here we go. Choosing leadership. Again, we are starting on page 8. This is chapter 3. And again, I'm going to read verbatim. I'm going to try to slow myself down because I know I be jumping ahead because I see the full perspective. And I want to be just like blah, 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 blah. And we can't do that. Why? Because I know to some people this is new. And I know that you want to really get an understanding of this. And since we're not having a face-to-face conversation where I'm saying this thing, you're asking that question in real time, I need to slow down so that I'm at least asking questions that I've been asked before so that at least the foundational things are covered. But again, you can always go to my website, awapzone.com. I forgot which one I was promoting. And you can send me a message through there. My numbers are there. You can, find me on any social media that I'm on, which should be at the bottom of the website. And you can look through things and you can try to see, okay, what's the best way to contact her? Well, we know that the phone is the worst way. Because it takes time. I have to kind of put everything on hold, sit down and make that call and make sure that I give you my genuine time and I'm not sharing it with someone else when I told you I was going to give it to you. So a message, a quick text, and my office phone can take text messages. I set everything up to be able to receive it just like a cell phone. So even if you just dial or text me to that number, I will get that and I can respond quicker with that as well. So here we go, guys. And I hope you're feeling the momentum, the excitement, oh my goodness, what we're going to be able to accomplish is amazing. And that this part of the journey is also as exciting to learn the information. Because again, we're only on chapter 4. All right. So selecting effective leadership for your drama ministry is essential for ensuring smooth operations, clear directions, and the successful execution of your vision. Leadership roles manage various aspects of the ministry from artistic direction to administration. Here's a more detailed explanation of how to choose leadership for your drama ministry. So you identify, number 1, identify the core leadership roles. Determine the key leadership roles required for your drama ministry. These roles could include artistic director, technical director, administrative coordinator, and more. And depending on the size and complexity of your ministry, more may be added to simplify the process for that particular thing. So let's say we have a stage manager who also happens to be the props oh goodness, I forgot the name. The prop master. Goodness. And then who also happens to be the person, because you'll get all this verbiage in the I keep forgetting, in the dialogue that I give you, because it's a really long list of all the terms that we use in theater and film so that you can be up to par. But the person that would help with the scripts, okay? And what they do is, while we're going through rehearsal, they have the script and they're sitting next to the director. And then, if you forget your line, once we're on the level of you should have this memorized, then they're the ones to kind of follow through the script and get your line to you. Now, maybe that can be broken up into 3 different leadership roles, okay? Because that's a lot for one person to do. To find all the things, make sure all the characters are in play, have their costumes, are doing what they're supposed to do. Also, once we start, they're running over there to get started with you guys after finishing up with the background things and making sure that everything is in place for rehearsal. We're not even talking about the night of. So that, I mean, would be amazing to be able to split that up, have someone for every area. Instead of like in the big corporations where they have you doing 4 and 5 jobs, but you only got 8 hours in a day, but everything needs to be done and on time and correctly. Right. Because some of y'all are like, I know, like that's what they do to me. But that is what we are able to do, is split that up so that it can run smooth. And we don't have someone over here getting overwhelmed and then everybody else is okay. Even yourself. Once you begin to get this started up and you're like, okay, these are the different areas that would really help me out, fill all the areas. There's no reason to not take that time to do that, to help yourself and to help everyone else. So, number 2, define responsibilities. Clearly outline the responsibilities and expectations for each leadership role. Make sure that the roles align with the specific needs, as we just talked about, and support the overall vision. So again, they are assisting with your vision. Teach them how to do that. Show them what would be great for them to learn or for them to know, or what area do they want to be in, and then to perfect that. And it helps your vision, right? And what is the vision? Whatever you said it was. There is no wrong answer. Everything is going to be tweaked a little bit different, but overall, we are bringing the people back home. How do you want to do that? And however you say, oh, I would like to take this approach or that approach, or maybe it's going to be a comedic approach, or maybe it's going to be a dramatic approach, or maybe it's going to be through da 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 da. Those are all correct. And if you pray about it first, the Lord is going to actually give you the vision, or at least the portion of where you are at, right? Because remember, he doesn't reveal the whole thing. He goes in steps and in processes, and then we elevate and we get to the next level. So take your approach in that same way. Don't overwhelm yourself. We have a great role model who shows us how to do these things, who tells us how to do these things, who shows us the mindset to have for these things, and the heart and the integrity that we need to complete these things. Okay? Go back to where we started. Go back to the Bible. Get your instructions there. Okay? And number 3, assess skills and experience. Look for individuals who have skills and experience necessary to excel in their leadership role. For example, your artistic director should have a strong background in theater, while your technical director should be knowledgeable about lighting, sound, and technical aspects. And again, if they don't come ready-made, they can be made. You know what I mean? Like, we have the resources. There are numerous resources out there to level up. You know what I'm saying? It's for people to step up their game, right? And if you have actors coming in that just happen to not just the want to, that's where I come in and I can teach them in a workshop how you're going to do this and how we bring out that version of you that is particular for this story, and how you give, like, even the backstory to a character and developing that. So then now we have a response that's more genuine because of where we came from. So this is why we're acting like this, or the things that we've been through. This is why our demeanor is in such a way. You understand? Because there's more to just stepping on stage, reading the lines, and thinking, okay, how did I do? You have to actually be in that moment, develop the different aspects of your character. And how does that character interact with the other characters? And what is their backstories? And why would they happen to blah, 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 right? So in a lot of our church plays, we say, okay, these are our lines. This is what we're going to do. And there's no connective emotion to it. Maybe we already know the story, but did we really go back and study that story? Did we see how were the people dressed at that time? Did we say, okay, what was their dialogue like? What was the language they were speaking? And then go and kind of research that language, and then to see someone speaking English with that language so that we understand how it could sound if we put that much more effort into it. So then we're doing our best at giving an authentic experience of that time, instead of just the Americanized version of everything. You know, I was working under the amazing leadership of, I believe, Sherry Dennis, who did a play, director, everything, right? And my part was being, who was I? I was the woman who touched the Lord's garment. And he was in the crowded room, and the disciples were there, and there were so many people around, and he said, somebody pulled power from me. Somebody touched me. And then the disciples was like, but everybody's like touching you, you know? And he was like, no, no, no. Someone touched me. And I went back. I did the research. I looked into how did they even dress? Because this is someone who was seen as an outsider. You know what I'm saying? They're not even supposed to be at the table. They're not even supposed to be where the Lord is, right? You know, and she has no business touching him. But she was like, if I could just touch the hem of his garment, I know that I will be healed. And what was she needing healing from? What was she in distress for? What brought about that? She was the woman with the issue of blood. Okay. And go back and read the story if you haven't already. And you can even Google that, the woman with the issue of blood in the Bible, blah, blah, blah. They'll take you to the verse. Bible Gateway is what I recommend for honesty. BibleGateway.com. And then there was a part in there where it was a full monologue. So a monologue is where you are the only character there, but you're making it seem as if you're speaking with someone, if you're having a mental moment, if you are pondering into the future about something, or if you are reminiscing or reflecting on the past. Okay? So mine was a projection of I'm having a conversation with someone and I'm telling you about that conversation that I had, and it was life-changing. So let me tell you what. The energy that you have to bring into it, the backstory of who are these people? What does she look like? Why was she not supposed to be there? Where did she come from? She was a Canaanite woman, and they dressed a little more upscale than, the others. And so for her to be humbled enough to be like, I need him. I need to touch him. I need what he has. And I see and I know that that is what I need. And then to have that faith perspective of her not even really understanding that it's faith, but she just knows she had to get there because this is what the outcome is going to be. And I am 100% set on, I know that is my outcome. And then there was a moment where she's going through and she's telling the story and she was like, you know what? And she broke down and she was like, and I said, Lord, even dogs are able to have the crumbs that fall from their master's table. And that is where it was a dual capturization, is where she captured the Lord's heart in the actual story. In the retelling of that story, she captured the audience's heart. Because we've all felt a time that we were unworthy, but we knew we wanted that thing anyway, because for us, it's going to be life changing. Even if it's not, even if I can get a little bit of that, I know it'll make a difference. And that play was amazing. The interludes of the praise dancing and the song, like the worship, everything just flowed together so well. Sherry Dennis Cotner, I'm so sorry if you're seeing this or you're listening and I got your last name wrong. But shout out to Wichita, Kansas. Shout out to the late and great Pastor Montgomery of Tabernacle Bible Church. So, I lost my place because I got caught up in another way. So let me see where we stopped. Assess the skill and experience. Okay, that's why I went into that. Because it's not just about the technical skill, right? It's about how well can you develop that character. And sometimes in our profession as actors and actresses, when we're going to an audition, we may have less than 24-hour notice. And we only have a piece of the script that's about as big as my hand if I turn it sideways. Maybe 1 or 3 lines. Maybe a paragraph. Maybe it's a full 1-minute page where there's 2 characters on there and then one of the casting directors are reading with you. And you have to know something about something. You got to develop that character. Why would they say this? Okay, where do they come from? Okay, how old are they? Okay, where might you have learned something like this to say? You know what I mean? And that's what makes for a great audition. Even though you only have a little bit of the script, you have no idea what the full scope is. But in that moment, for what you're doing, you need to do the work and bring that. And I teach you how to do that for actors and actresses. And I'm showing you the roadmap for those that want to start a drama ministry. Because my goal is what? People, to bring it back home. Because people now more than ever kind of need that information of who the Lord is and how he works and what he's up to and what is finna come. Or fixing to come. I don't know the right way to say that. Ha ha ha. Boom, boom. I'm funny. All right. So, number 4, prioritize vision alignment. Choose leaders who are genuinely passionate about the ministry's vision and purpose. Leadership that is aligned with the mission will drive the team in the right direction and maintain a cohesive approach. Okay? You already understand that. Number 5, foster collaboration. So select leaders who are skilled at working collaboratively with others. You don't want someone who's standoffish and antisocial in something like this, okay? Your leadership team should be able to facilitate open communication, respect diverse opinions, and promote a harmonious working environment, okay? We don't need that disruptor that I talked about earlier, where everything was all about them because they had a plentiful recollection of said information. Okay, cool, that'll help. But you're not the only one on the team. Number 6, look for problem-solving skills. So effective leaders are adapt at identifying challenges and finding creative solutions. They should be able to handle unexpected issues that may arise during rehearsals, performances, or other aspects of production. So, and take it with a grain of laughter. Because I'm a mom, I had kids, and if I would not have laughed for those 21 years or found something funny to ponder on instead of what they did, I would be childless. You know what I mean? If you're a mom, you know what I mean. You know? And it's like, what the heck are you doing? Son, daughter, twins. What are you? Why? Just tell me why. Just I want to know why. I want to hear. No, I really want to know your side of the story before I think about my grown-up side of the story, of what it should be. I want to know why you thought that. And then have you ever noticed that when they tell you the why, no matter how messed up of the thing that they did or you know what, when they tell you the why, you can actually see, I get it. I understand. Well, I mean, if I was 4 years old and I was looking at something like that and I was thinking about it in that manner, I would have done the same thing. No, you're still in trouble. I understand you now. So maybe I'll be more proactive in explaining and doing my part. Oh, but you're definitely in trouble. Like, you know what I mean? But if we take that time to listen and we start to get into other people's heads and we start to see how they act and react to different things, we know best where to place them. You know what I mean? So, harmonious work environment, fun work environment, a not work environment, you know? And that makes it things go the best. I mean, if you give it a chance and don't be so stiff in this is how it's going to be. Yeah, uh, probably not, though. But I mean, we can all get stressed out and try because that's going to make everything go downhill and people are going to leave. So, try it a different way. Number 7, consider communication skills. Strong communication skills are crucial for leadership roles. Leaders need to convey instructions clearly, provide constructive feedback, and not just like, yo, what you want? Because that ain't what we doing. So why, though? We don't want to come at people like that. We want to give construct. I see where you were going with that. I absolutely. And then I'm sure maybe your next blah, blah, would have been like, okay, I get it. But can we try it this way, though? Okay? Because I'm thinking maybe with the next line that's coming up, that might fit a little better into it aesthetically. And it may just do it. Let's try that, okay? And again, you want a team that's receptive and open to seeing your vision. Okay? So, number 7, consider communication skills. Strong communication skills are crucial for leadership roles. Leaders need to convey instructions clearly, provide constructive feedback, maintain open lines of communication with the team. And again, some type of consistent communication, like maybe once a week, they're getting an email on a Thursday by 5 o'clock. And then they know, okay, let me be looking for my email because I know we're going to get, right? Just something that they can look forward to. Number 8, evaluate leadership experience. So while prior leadership experience is beneficial, don't discount the potential of emerging leaders. Someone with a passion for theater and a willingness to learn can excel in leadership roles with the right guidance. I hate that I go too fast because I know it's coming up, but I don't know, or I just want to, I'll slow down. But we've already talked about that, so we're going to move on. Number 9, encourage a positive attitude. Leaders should exhibit a positive attitude. Even in challenging situations, positivity is contagious and can inspire the team to overcome obstacles and stay motivated. Again, take everything with a grain of laughter. They say with a grain of salt, but kind of sometimes too much salt makes you bitter and it don't taste right, right? So we're going to change that to take it with a grain of laughter. Even a chuckle could light up an environment. when everything seems so serious. And somebody is like, excuse me. I want to give an example, but that kind of would have been mean. But let's say people are arguing. I'm gonna give it anyway. See, people are arguing, right? And then they get to a point where they are both just breathing hard and it's dead silence and it's like, ooh, you make me sick. Like, ooh, I'm about to just that kind of and then somebody like, but yo, why he breathing like that? It's gonna make the people that are in that moment upset, or it can make them like be like, oh shoot, I am breathing like that. It can turn a situation around depending on your team. Know your team. Don't get punched out. Don't get slapped on the account of laughter. I've come close, but don't be me. So, but just some kind of chuckle, some kind of something to lighten up the atmosphere. Or, somebody just walking by like, why are they breathing like that? And they don't even know what's going on. It's going to be super funny, and you lighten up the atmosphere. And then that person is like, they're looking at each other like, okay. Because maybe it wasn't that strong of an argument or something. It was just like, you making me mad though. Like, shut up. Maybe something like that. Because somebody's just, and then they're sitting there breathing, looking stupid. So be fun. Have fun. Make sure your team has that open mind of, okay, we're all here for the same reason. We all get along. There's nothing wrong with us. Everybody has their part, you know, and then just keep it. It's your job to keep it, the atmosphere where you want it to be. Bring the energy to the party that you want them to have. And that's how it'll flow. Number 9, encourage a positive attitude. Leaders should exhibit a positive attitude. Even in challenge situations, positivity is contagious. Just read that. Number 10, promote growth and learning. Look for leaders who are committed to their personal and professional growth. They should be open to learning new skills, attending workshops, and improving their leadership abilities. Continued education. Number 11, evaluate commitment. Leadership roles in drama ministry require a significant time commitment. Okay, ensure that your chosen leaders are willing and able to dedicate the necessary time and effort to fulfill their responsibilities. What is the time frame? What is that commitment looking like? What is needed? What did you decide for your vision that is needed? And that's where you go. You can't compare your thing to someone else's thing and say, well, they take 10 hours a week. Cool for them, but what does yours take? Because if you say it's going to take 10 hours a week and then you don't got nothing to fill that time, that don't make sense. We don't want people just doing busy work just to be doing busy work to be doing busy work. We want there to actually be a reason. So maybe yours can be cut down to 5 hours a week. That's one day on a Saturday, right? Until we get into rehearsals, where we need to, at least 3 full production rehearsals. So that you're understanding, you're blocking, your stage directions, or, for that film, you're having that round table read, and, you're doing all the stuff. And it's like, okay, now we need to get some more time once it comes closer to production, and everybody knows that that's the flow of things. Make it to where you guys know what your flow is. And it could be all your own. Number 12, diversify leadership. Aim for diversity within your leadership team. Different perspectives and backgrounds can enrich decision making and contribute to a well-rounded ministry. Nurture leadership potential. If you identify individuals with leadership potential but who might need further development, consider mentorship or training programs to help them grow in their roles. Number 14, facilitate leadership transitions. Over time, leadership roles may change hands. Facilitate smooth transitions by providing guidance, knowledge transfer, and ongoing support to new leaders. So that's the stage that I'm in right now, is transferring that information to the new leaders. So it could be something as simple as this, and taking the time out to speak with someone, having the old leader kind of come and sit, and making it to where when they leave, it's a positive thing and not a negative thing, so that they're more willing to give up the information that they know to the next one to pass on the torch. You know what I mean? That's what this is. It's a continuation of passing on the torch. So now this new person is not only coming in with an understanding, fellowship mindset, but now they're feeling blessed to be there because someone took the time to properly give them instruction or to give them information. So it's not like they're taking someone's spot. No, they're coming in when needed. Like, we need you here. We want you here. We're so glad you're here. Not, well, I don't know how you're going to be because we liked him, and I don't know about you because I just met you. Like, we don't need those kind of things within the body of Christ. You understand? That's them out there doing it like that. We don't have to do that. We pass on the torch. We value the person taking our place, just like Elijah did with Elisha. You know what I mean? He valued him taking his place. He gave him his cloak, right? He gave him his blessing. Make sure we're passing on the torches and not ripping them and giving them to someone else or making the person coming in feel like, hey, you have to live up to our standards. No, we're all still having, the growth together. Join us, grow with us. Well, we were all in your spot once because I just started once. I thought maybe I want to do this. So I understand you coming into something new, be again, inviting, encouraging, motivating. Number 15. Empower leaders. Okay, once you've chosen your leadership team, empower them to make decisions within their respected areas of responsibilities. Trust their judgment and encourage their autonomy. So trust that they know how to regulate themselves in that area. Okay, trust that they understand. Okay, this is how we got to do this. Okay, and these are my standards for me because you know what? I want to do well. I want to do well. You know what I mean? And trust that people have that mindset of I want to do well, so I know I'm not going to slack on this. And then people will surprise you, especially when they want to do something. So don't just count people out because maybe they don't have the upbringing, maybe they don't have the church background, maybe they haven't, been to enough hallelujah nights. You know what I mean? Because the Lord wants to use us all. And he came here for the least of these. And guess what? Just like when we were out, whatever our situation was before Christ, or even maybe we grew up in the church, but we weren't all in. One day we said, yo, I'm all in. And before that, we were not all in. And that's the same situation someone else is coming in with. They weren't all in, but hopefully it'll progress. And when the Lord gets to working and changing people's minds and helping them understand the whys, oh, okay, I'm all in too. So don't be so quick to count someone out. Choose leaders based on your prayer and what you talk to the Lord about. And if he brings you someone and they're not what you thought they may look like, we have to start leaving that at the door because it's stifling a lot of our blessings because it didn't come in the way we expected it to come. It looked different than we expected it to look. There was more to it than what we really wanted. We only wanted this aspect, but they're bringing like this and this and this to the table. Let the Lord bless you how he seems fit because his blessings brings no sorrows with it. It's you who may cause those sorrows unnecessarily. And use that in a couple different aspects of your life, not just for the drama ministry. But when you are talking to God about something and you're like, Lord, this is what I would like. And maybe you thought you were going to buy a house because that's what you wanted. You want a house. And the Lord is like, well, I can get you that house, but you're going to rent it. But guess what? You can stay as long as you would like to stay there. And the Lord brings you this amazing opportunity right to your doorstep, right? Or right to your inbox. Places it from the sky into your hands. And you're like, oh my goodness, this is what I wanted. Excuse me. But then one aspect of it was you were like, but I didn't know it was going to be like that. You know what I mean? I've been asking the Lord to buy a house, to have a house that looks like this, that has all these things that blah, 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 blah. And he brings it to you. But guess what? It's a rental. It's not your forever home. But you're like, but this is what I wanted. So then be happy about that and enjoy your blessing. Because the Lord doesn't go backwards in blessings, right? He moves forward and he knows something about your future that you may not know. And so now that you have this rental, and then, oh my goodness, 3 years later, this opportunity comes up to where you need to go here now, maybe to a different city, a state, a country. And it's the best opportunity of your life. Now, because you don't have that big burden of a big bill or a mortgage on your hands, you're able to go and to have that next blessing without any sorrows with it, without any stress. They even have buyouts to break the leases. Or you're like, oh my goodness, and my lease is going to be up in this, da-da-da. That's going to be perfect timing. Why? Because the Lord does not come early, and the Lord does not come late. He has perfect timing. Trust his judgment. If we are all in, let's be all in. And if he says move like this, I am going to send you this. I know you prayed for this, and here it is. But maybe you have to cultivate that thing, right? Maybe you have to teach. But then once they learn that information, it's the best team member you ever had. You know what I mean? So first, go to God, pray about it, see what he has to say first. Because the Holy Spirit is not going to lead you in a place that you ain't going to feel comfortable going. He leads you in all truth. And it says, don't stand on your own understanding, but in all your ways seek him, and he will direct thy path. Right? So don't go by, well, I saw this and I think this and I think we should do it this way, guys. Why you got to think about it when we got the source right here to ask and he'll give us the answer. He'll take the guesswork out of it if you allow him to speak. And if you go to him and say, hey, I was thinking, what you think though? And then you wait for his answer. You see what I'm saying? Let's do it the right way. Because for our particular region, our particular neighborhoods, our particular cities of where we are, we can definitely do it the way the Lord is saying and it work out fantastic. So that's like there's an open book test, right? But you're like, I'm just going to pull from memory. And then you get confused on a thing and you're like, on one of the questions and you're like, well, I think I could put this answer. Like, yo, sir or ma'am, Did you forget this is an open book test? The answer is literally right there. Everybody should get A's. You see what I'm saying? So it's one thing to be like, oh no, I know that answer. And then you write it down. And then to be like, well, I think it shoot, last week. And then you don't take the time to go look at it. Like you don't even got to move your feet, just your face and a hand and get the correct answer. Something's wrong. Where's that break out? Like, why is that breaking down like that? And it's right there in your face. The Holy Spirit is right here in you. You don't even got to go nowhere. You don't got to move a hand or a face. You just got to say something. We don't have to make this harder than it has to be. That's why I broke it down like this. So step by step, I mean inch by inch, we are going to get this thing down packed. And I apologize, I didn't say it in the beginning of the video, but you can always hit the link below and grab your copy of the book and follow along with us. And if you can't follow along with us, you can't get that book right away, I am going almost verbatim with a couple of extras, put into it during this podcast. This is a drama ministry podcast. So I am giving you all my information of everything I've known, everything I've tried, things that I think you should consider, and put it into a step-by-step book, the A to Z's on how to start that drama ministry. And not only that, I provide the service of doing workshops to train the actors that you consider or want on your team. So even if y'all both are starting out at 0, we can come up together, right? 0 experience, 0 knowledge and understanding. I can give you all those foundational skills, and I leave you with a bunch of resources so that you have something to pull from if maybe you forget. So yes, you can do this. Yes, you can do it if you're starting from 0 or negative. And yes, you can make this something that can be a staple of your community and bring the people back home. Any questions? You can visit my website on awapzone.com and, see everything there is to see about that. You can message me, and there's a lot of information on there. So you can actually, maybe your question will get answered. But if not, I'm here, you guys. I'm here for you. This is what I do. So I find it an honor to serve you. I find it a pleasure to have an audience to give this information to. So I'm glad that you are on your post of what the Lord is calling you to do. That feels good. And I'm glad you're here. And I'm glad you're getting this information. So whatever else you need to know, what you may not understand, what I may have been like gone too far or around and you kind of didn't get that answer, ask me and put it in the comments because somebody else probably has that same question. But I am so glad that I am being used in this way because this is my passion. One of them, I again am Judith Daniel, and I own Juju Star Productions LLC. And under that umbrella, we have many branches. And this was my original branch. Juju, my first baby. And I am glad that I get to share with you all so that you can go out there and make it do what it do. You feel me? And if you need help, I'm here. If you're ready to get your actors trained, I'm here. If you're ready to be like, hey, we need a refresher, because we got a new group coming on board or additional people, and some of the people from our community was like they want to be a part of our drama ministry now. So can you come out and do another workshop with us? I absolutely can. I absolutely can. This is what I do, y'all. Well, I do a lot of stuff, but this is one of the things that I love to do. So, without me wanting to just sit here and waste your time, because I'm done. This is complete. Let me know if you have any questions. Put what you're thinking in the comments, or just be like, "Oh, I like this," or like, mm, "I don't know." I mean, and then get the book, read along with us, take notes, or rewind, because again, this is going to be there for you, for your resource. I just have many ways of getting that communication to you, and whichever you decide to take, it's a good take. So, from Coach Jay to y'all, I love you, my royal fam, and I will see you next time. Well, not really see you or hear you because it's just me talking, but I will talk to you soon. Deuces.